It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to The Local Show. It's the 2022 pre-Thanksgiving edition. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. On The Local Show, we have conversations about local business with business owners. We see some CFOs and CEOs, entrepreneurs, civic organizations, and we talk to nonprofits, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. We talk about how they got into business and why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. You're going to hear all about their successes, their challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We are broadcasting from the Zoe Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. How you doing there, Steve? You're back from vacation.
I'm doing on the calendar. If you know, it says "Vacation from Tom." That's what it says. No, we had a great time and spent some quality time with my wife. And
good. But you didn't go to the Bahamas. I was selling you as going to the Bahamas.
Yeah, well, it changed. There was a hurricane, Nicole. There was a hurricane.
Hurricanes hardly ever happen.
Yeah, and so that messed everything up.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, we'll go some other time. And Judy was like, no, let's go somewhere else.
Golly,
and
she's a
there are
traveler.
late, when you book late and can go, the prices there's like last minute things.
Yeah.
So we ended up going somewhere we've never went to Cancun. Never been to Cancun.
No kidding. Well, the kids aren't there, so that's good.
Absolutely. And there's a zillion resorts there.
Yeah.
So I think they compete against each other. And
right.
it was, I can't believe how inexpensive it was, actually. We had a great time. Enjoyed the water. The fishing at the resort wasn't that good because they had a dock, kind of like a pier, but it wasn't like there was reefs and things right near there.
Yeah.
So I caught a couple garbage fish, but nothing, but everything else was exquisite.
And I noticed that you're a little stuffy.
Yeah, my left. And when I fly too, I am.
Yeah.
I had tubes in my ears several times as an adult because my eustachian tubes, we could ask Dr. Ansel here in a second. She'll tell us about that. Don't seem to open and close. So that pops, and then I get all kind of...
Yeah.
But I feel great.
Well, that's good. Well, I'm glad you feel great because a lot of people around here have had head colds, and I've had a head cold all through the week. It's been a little rough.
Yes.
But, hey, here we are. We tough it out. We are going to talk with Dr. Nicole Anzalone today, and she's the owner of Syracuse Hearing Solutions. Then we will talk with Michelle Riccardi, just in time for the holidays, right? She's the president of Industrial Color Labs, and we'll see what they have going on. Then Kevin Mathewson is the owner and licensed funeral director at Mathewson-Forani and funeral home. And I don't know whether it's Forani or Forani. So I'm going to say Forani.
You say whatever you want.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Mathewson-Forani Funeral Home. And then Joe Convertino Jr. is the owner of C&H Insurance. Rob Senecal is the owner of Candy Cars. And then Brian Dumond, president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan, will be by. Dr. Richard Malera is the owner of Malera Eye Care and Eyewear. He'll have a conversation with us along with Natasha Schmidt, who is the co-owner of Rubberstone, New York. She will round out the full day's events. So right now, let's say a hearty, healthy good morning to Nicole Anzalone. How are you, doctor?
Good. How are you doing?
Hanging right in there. So Steve was talking about his eustachian tubes because they get plugged when he flies and everything. As kids, do they actually take the eustachian tubes out?
No.
Oh, you can't take them out, right?
No.
Okay. What do they do?
They put a hole in there.
It actually it's a narrow tube that connects your sinuses, your ear to your throat. So it is an extension of your sinuses, and it's really thin and small. It's about the diameter of a pencil lead.
Oh wow, I didn't know it was that small.
Yeah.
No wonder it can get plugged easy.
Little. And so what happens is it's made of smooth muscle tissue. So it normally stays closed, and then when you swallow or blow your nose or sneeze or whatever, it opens up temporarily and it equalizes pressure on either side of your eardrum. But sometimes people have problems with it not opening, not equalizing, in which case people, normally if someone's congested or stuffy, it may happen because it gets inflamed. and then it just can't open up. So that causes ear congestion. Sometimes you feel like you can't hear well. Sometimes fluid gets trapped in your middle ear because of it.
Gotcha.
So that's probably what's starting to happen to you.
Yeah, it happened years ago, and I had to have tubes put in as an adult. Not a fun experience.
So when they say put in a tube, like another Eustachian tube?
No. It's just like a little peg with a hole in it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
It looks
gotcha.
like, if you think about a smaller coffee straw,
Yeah.
or sometimes it looks like a little barbell with a hollow center. It's really, really tiny. And they make a little hole in your eardrum and put that in, and that holds the eardrum open so that you could equalize pressure.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Now, is there any chance that brain matter would leak out?
No.
In the case of Steve, maybe? I don't know. I'm just guessing here. All right.
No, it's,
wanted to make sure.
it does affect your hearing, though, right, doctor?
It does for sure.
All right. Well, Dr. Nicole, why don't you give people the 30-second synopsis of how you got to Syracuse and why you opened your practice here?
Yeah, so I went to Syracuse University, originally from New York City area, and I liked it up here, and I stuck around for my master's degree, my doctorate degree in audiology, and then I opened up my practice here.
Excellent. Does your practice have a certain expertise? Like, do you have certain areas of hearing health that you guys specialize in?
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how extensive audiology is. It's hearing, it's balance, it's hearing protection. So, and cochlear implants now. So we have different providers in the office now that specialize in, and I consider them experts in different aspects of audiology. So we have someone who specializes in cochlear implant evaluations and treatment and programming. Tinnitus management, that's the ringing in your ears. We specialize in pediatric testing, adult testing, hearing protection, and all sorts of stuff.
So the tinnitus, people sometimes say, yeah, I have it all the time, I just live with it. Do you hear a lot of that?
Oh, yes. Yes.
That stinks.
Yeah, it's tough for some people. Sometimes it keeps people up at night. They can't sleep. It really bothers them, mostly in quiet settings. So there is a way to treat it or management in a lot of cases, but there's really no cure per se. But if we could get it to be at least part of like the room background where you don't notice it, like your refrigerator,
Right.
in the background, you kind of forget that it's there.
Like me with
in the
Tom.
morning.
Right, yeah. I was going to say like me with Steve. We kind of mask each other out.
Yeah. When those annoying things, you could kind of forget they're there. Yeah.
So you can help folks that struggle with that.
Yes. So we tried different types of techniques where strategies to help reduce it and kind of help your brain forget that it's there. So it does become part of background. So we do that successfully. I would say we could help about maybe 60 to 70% of patients reduce the tinnitus.
What are cochlear implants? Like, I think of that actress who's really famous. I can't remember her name.
Really famous.
Yeah, well, she...
Marlene?
That's it.
Marlene Roberts?
Yeah, something Marlene, but I think her name is Marlene, or yeah. And she's deaf, right? And but does she have cochlear implants? I thought that she did. She can like talk sometimes, but then she signs. Either way, what do cochlear implants do for people who are almost deaf?
Yeah, so a cochlear implant is for someone who cannot benefit from hearing aids. Their hearing loss is so severe that hearing aids just don't help them anymore. So you could bypass parts of the inner ear where the sensory cells are, which normally hearing aids can help. But if it's that extensive of damage, you bypass that and directly stimulate the nerves. And it's really successful, actually. Someone could not hear anything at all and then hear their family.
Rush Limbaugh had that, Tom.
Yes,
Oh, right.
did.
Yes, that's right.
And he went from
Yes.
nothing to being able
Incredible.
to hear. And briefly, somebody wanted to get a hearing test. Is that a complex, long thing? Just something you can do?
No, it's something that we could do. It's very simple and quick. It's painless. You just put headphones on like we have on and you just listen for sound and tell us if you hear it. And in children, we could do things another way to figure out what their hearing is like. But it's very, very simple.
Very good. All right. That's Dr. Nicole Anzalone, owner of Syracuse Hearing Solutions, SyracuseHearingSolutions.com, SyracuseHearingSolutions.com. Go to the site. There's a wealth of knowledge on there, and then you can learn how to get in touch with them. Thank you so much, Doctor, and you have a great rest of the day, okay?
Thank you. You too.
All right. Michelle Riccardi is coming up next. She's the president of Industrial Color Labs. We'll talk everything photo, video, and all sorts of fun stuff throughout the years. Right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR and 106.9 FM.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We are back, folks, and that means, well, you are too. Thank you for joining us on this weekend. It's Tom and Steve and The Local Show. Steve is back from vacation, and chaos ensues. It begins. How are you, buddy?
Did it ever stop?
No, it never did.
No. It's good to be back.
Yeah. You went all the way out to Cancun. That's in Mexico, isn't it?
It is in Mexico.
Yeah.
And Tom, you take lots of planes
and bridges and
dangerous roads. Yes, it's amazing. Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah.
The travel was uneventful.
Good. That's what you want. Right.
Wonderful. Because if you can get uneventful.
They're not doing masks on the planes anymore, are they?
No.
Good.
But on the way back, I had my fish pliers.
Fish pliers?
Pliers. My little 5-inch pliers.
Can you bring that on a plane?
You can't bring 6-inch pliers.
No kidding.
You can bring 5-inch pliers. And I've flown with these multiple times because I bring a fishing pole when I go in my bag.
Right. But you have your pliers like in the seat, like you're waiting for something to happen?
Right. Well, so anyway, so I get pulled out because I was specially screened. I think you did it to me.
Yeah.
And anyway, they said, you can't have these. I go, they're 5 inches. Look it up. You can't have 6-inch pliers. These are 5-inch. I go, look, then they're not sharp. No, sir, you can't have these. I go, you're wrong. And they took my pliers.
Did they take them?
Yeah. So now I got to go back to the dollar store and get a pair of pliers.
You didn't do like on Meet the Parents where he starts saying, it's not like I have a bomb on the plane, and you can't say bomb on a plane.
I didn't do that. I was annoyed. This other guy looked next to me and goes, that's like really dumb. This guy looked at me and the other guy.
Golly.
I go, well, you're wrong. I go, if you were to look it up right now, 6-inch, 5-inch or less. That's what these are. Because that's why I got that size.
What would have been funnier is if you pulled out a machete and said, "This I can't bring on the plane. This is too big."
That would be perfect. Perfect.
Goodness. Well, escapades with Steve. So, Gettys Federal Savings and Loan. Christmas is around the corner. Some people, Steve, will buy things using the equity in their home. And I think that Gettys Federal Savings and Loan, being a local bank, can help you do that really quickly.
If you want to buy a kitchen for your spouse.
Right. Get the kitchen remodeled.
How about this? Rubber stone in the basement floor.
Yeah.
Or anything from anywhere. Gettys is here. They're so local. Even as I was traveling, I noticed banks. And I noticed the signage at the airport. There was mortgages by this one company.
Right.
And that is what Gettys does so well. But they do it here, and you always hear the horror stories of people that try to do things far away.
Yeah.
Not here. Call Gettys. Do it with Gettys. If you're going to buy a house, still buy a house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now's the time.
Or the home equity line of credit. But or maybe the stock market's creeping you out a little bit and you want to put some money in a certificate of deposit. Yes. I could say CD, but I wanted to trip on the
nice
words.
And simple.
They got it right there. Get it at Gettys, right here in town. Gettys Federal Savings and Loan.
They're so local that we'll have the president on
That's right.
in just
We're
a
going to see
little while.
Brian here in a little bit. So that's how local they are.
Very good. Speaking of local, and a local business that's been around for quite some time, Industrial Color Labs. Michelle Riccardi is the president of Industrial Color Labs. How are you today?
Great.
It's great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Now, who exactly are you? Are you related to anybody there?
Sure. My dad's the owner of the company, Hank Vomart. Everyone knows Hank.
That's right.
From his old commercials from the 80s and 90s, but...
Keep them forever with Industrial Color Labs.
Hi, I'm Hank Vomart from Industrial Color Labs. What you've just seen is an exciting new 2-hour portrait service that's sweeping the country. That same 2-hour portrait service is now available right here in Syracuse at Industrial Color Labs.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I remember.
his daughter.
Your dad's 110 now?
Not quite. Everyone thinks he is, though.
We used to run his commercials on WHEN radio back in the day. I remember that.
How'd the jingle go, Tom? Do you remember?
Industrial Color Labs.
That's right. Very good. Yeah.
Yeah. Where'd you have that made, by the way? That's an old
You know, it's a classic. It's just been around. I don't remember who did it, but people still sing it as they walk in the door, and I haven't run it in 10 years, and people still know it. So it's crazy.
Yeah, well, the retro's coming back. Burger King is bringing back their jingle, which was nice. I like that.
The Whopper jingle?
Yeah, the Whopper. You know,
hold the pickles, hold the lettuce. Special
and you know, it brings people back, and I think it's good. Retro is new. You know. So tell us, how have things changed over the years from what you've done in the past, like when Steve was shooting weddings, up to now? What's been going on?
Yeah, we've pretty much totally transitioned to digital. Everything people want is digital, and you know, so you have these old clunky tapes. Well, now you can just put everything on a hard drive and watch them on your computer and archive them forever. Most people, even with photos now, you know, people don't even use digital cameras anymore. They really are just everything's on your phone.
That's something.
And you can order right from your phone, go on our website, get your prints, get your Christmas cards.
Can you solve the my phone is full of pictures, is full scenario? How do you fix
Sure.
that problem?
Just download them all to a thumb drive or hard drive. Very easy.
And you can make like pictures.
Absolutely. We still do actually make 4x6 beautiful photo quality prints.
My wife Judy loves pictures. And we just came back
that's
from
why she
vacation.
married you,
Let's make
I would
some
imagine.
pictures. Probably the only reason. Right? Let's make some pictures of that from when we just got back.
Yeah.
Let's make photos. And you're right. And you don't, and then it's better too.
It really is. I mean, there's nothing like holding an album in your hand and really reliving the memories instead of just passing a phone around, you know?
I do. I like that. We had some friends over the summer, and we pulled out they were in our wedding, and we pulled out our old wedding album, and it was nice to sit there at the table and look through, you know, phones, passing a little tablet around. It just doesn't have the same effect. Now, do you restore old photos? My father-in-law, I'm asking for a friend. My father-in-law, he is from Ireland, and he has this picture. I think it's like from the World War I.
Wow.
His father or my mother-in-law's father. Anyway, on a horse, and it's you know. I said, "We'll take it over to Industrial Color Labs." And do you do that?
Sure
I mean, I
do.
hope I did the right thing.
Yeah, we don't actually work on the originals. Everything is done digitally. We scan it
So
into
you
our
scan-
systems,
okay.
work on it in Photoshop, and then print you out a brand new one. So you still get the old one back the way it was, but then you get a file and your new print, and we can make them same size, bigger, smaller.
So actually,
people can do restoring. Yeah.
Yeah, but here's a picture. You said your dad took this?
Yep.
Look at that shot of that eagle. I'm holding it up
Yeah,
for
that's
the,
an eagle,
the
huh?
viewers on YouTube can see this.
Yep.
Yes.
But it's beautiful. It's on a canvas frame, and it's a beautiful print. So you can make, this is like art, though.
Yeah, well, that's an actual photograph that was taken.
Sure.
And we print on canvas, we can print on rag paper, we can print on photo paper. So there's all different mediums we can print on and make perfect gifts.
And people still make Christmas cards. Tom?
Yes.
People still do Christmas cards.
Absolutely. We love photo Christmas cards. This time of year, you know, when you go to the mailbox and you open up, you're so glad to see your family members.
And you put them
cousins
around
and
your
friends you don't ever
banister,
see.
yeah.
Absolutely. We love doing Christmas cards. Christmas
Okay, so
photo
you can
Christmas
do that.
cards are just a favorite thing to print, and everyone loves getting them in the mail. And it's easy.
And if people haven't been in this area their whole life, like Tom and I, that know Industrial Color Labs, there's the downtown one right across from DeGiulio's Army Navy Store. Not there anymore, Tom. Right there. That's
Is
It's
that
a
downtown?
uniform outlet now.
Yeah.
the uniform right at Burnett and Lodi. Okay, but the one I see all the time is Linden Corners.
That's our big main store.
Yeah,
Is
that's
it?
the main-
Okay.
That's where we do everything pretty much, and we'd love to
Yeah, sure.
drum up some business for Christmas time because Christmas, you know, photos make the best gifts.
Yeah,
Any kind
they
of
do.
photos.
And you don't have to wait around, folks. I mean, it really, seriously, you go in and you can talk to Michelle and talk to the staff, and you're not like, you know, hoping you're going to get something delivered. And then when you get it, if you don't like it, what do you have to do? You got to send it back, and that takes another week or two. So, you know, do it
and
locally.
It's real, Tom, it's real local business. Even downtown, Sharon, who works downtown, has pictures of my kids when they were kids on the wall down there.
Wow, that's
with
something
all
else.
these pictures of all these friends. So it really is local.
So really quickly, do you still service photographers and develop film or anything? Does anybody use film?
Most people find film. There are still some students that are dabbling, getting back into film, but most people find old film. They're cleaning out their parents' house.
I see. Oh, I get what you're saying.
Or, and they open up a drawer and there's like 10 rolls of film that have never been developed. So we can still help you out with that. Yep.
Excellent. Great. All right. Well, and another question. I did have another question really quickly here. Do you think that film cameras will ever come back like vinyl records, like vinyl
It's totally
right now?
possible. It is totally possible. It all depends on the makers, too, if they still can get film. That's the hard part.
And if the makers can make money.
Right. They'll do it, right?
But it's industrialcolorlab.com.
That's our website. Yep.
And if they want to call the 471-1155 number, that goes to downtown.
That's a downtown store.
Yeah.
And the 449-1155 out at Linden Corners.
There we go. All right, Michelle, thank you so much, and we'll send people over your way. I think you're going to get a huge glut of people in now from being on the show.
Thanks for having me so much. Appreciate it.
All right, Kevin Mathewson is coming up next. He's the owner and a licensed funeral director at Mathewson-Forani Funeral Home. We'll talk to him next on the local show on 570 WSYR.
Industrial Color Lab.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back into it and back at it again. You have found The Local Show, the last bastion of fun on the radio, right here with Tom and Steve.
Is that it, Tom?
That's it.
Wow.
Steve's back from vacation, so you know it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, my car radio wasn't working in my truck.
Really? When did you find that out? When
This
you were on
week
vacation?
I came back and it was like, and it's all lit up and it says the volumes and I got nothing.
No kidding.
And it wasn't muted. I plugged my phone in and it worked fine with, doing the stream. So I don't know. I might have to
go over to Installations Unlimited.
Go to our friends and just to say, hey, can you guys do something?
Put one of those fancy ones in there.
Because the truck's only got 165,000 miles on it. I'm going to keep driving that bad boy.
Steve likes to buy things like he still has his first Bic lighter. It's not even, he won't even dispose of it.
It's hard to get butane for it. Considering I don't smoke or ever use it, too.
Good golly. Go lease something. I mean, you own this beautiful agency that makes bazillions of dollars and, all that.
Okay.
That's fun stuff. All right. Look, we've got a special guest right now, new to the show. It's Kevin Mathewson. He's the owner and licensed funeral director at Mathewson-Forani Funeral Home. Am I saying Forani right? It's not Forani, right?
No, it's Forani.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm trying to figure out how we're going to have fun with funeral homes.
Well, he is your people, Tom.
Well, no, he's not. His wife is.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're married to one of the Emmys, huh?
I am, yes.
That gives you fame right there, right? Yeah. Well, a well-known family, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Around town.
Good family.
Where'd you come from?
Well, I grew up in Newfane, New York, which is out north of Buffalo.
North of
right
Buffalo.
up on Lake Ontario.
Okay.
Yeah, but I moved here in 83.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I graduated high school in 82.
You're right.
So, yeah, that's 83. Wonderful years, weren't they?
Oh, absolutely.
Back then. And when you first got here, what did you do for a living?
Funeral director.
Really?
Yeah,
So you
for
are?
40 years I've been doing this. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So did you have to go to the School of Mortuary Science?
I did. I went to Canton College.
Okay. And that's a program there.
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
I just want to know because we're close to the same age.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, did you wake up one day and go, boy, this, people who die and all this, it intrigues me.
Yeah.
It terrifies him. Let's be honest. This just to be clear, his word, he terrifies me.
And it might have terrified me initially, but my friend's dad had a funeral home back home.
Okay,
So probably
so-
by the time I was 8 or 9 years old, I was hanging around the funeral home, and
Right.
he was a year behind me in school. So when he graduated, when I graduated, I just went on to work because that's what we did back then. But when he went on to school, his father needed help, so I was happy to help out, and I think that year that I did that, I just decided to go to school myself. So.
Interesting. And how many years is it a 4-year degree program?
Well, it was 2 at the time that I did it.
Okay.
And there are schools that will still do 2-year programs.
Yeah.
But the state universities are 4-year now, so you have to.
Do you have to have continuing education in that field? Or?
They did start that, yeah.
Okay.
12 hours every 2 years to
Jokes come to mind, Tom, but I'm not going to have. I'm just going to let. There were so many opportunities. I just let them slide by.
Well, funny thing is, my father was a musician and a music teacher, but he had said to me back when I was of college age, he said, "You really ought to think about the mortuary sciences." He said, "You'll never be out of work. People are always going to be dying, so you have to kind of be in that business, right?"
That's true. I mean, it is recession-proof, I guess you might say.
I'll say.
But it all depends on you.
Yeah.
To make sure that what you do as a funeral director, you're doing a good job for everybody else too.
Well, there certainly is a difference between them, and I first, before we get into the benefits of your particular funeral home and everything, what are the benefits of pre-planning? A lot of people talk about this pre-planning. You do that at your place? Okay.
Yeah. No, it's been done forever. But I think you're basically taking a price of a funeral and locking in the price of that funeral today, at today's price. So even 20 years down the road, no more out-of-pocket expense to you. The interest does accrue in the account, but that just offsets the price increases.
Yeah. Right, and that's actually in Medicaid, Tom. That's a spend down, a liable spend down. Can be set aside, so the estate it's pre-taxed and things. So there's advantages from John Murphy at Safe Harbor.
Right.
From that standpoint, there's some great advantages
Absolutely.
there too.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it's important because a lot of people get caught off guard because you just never know, and then wow, we don't have enough money to cover it. What is the average cost of a funeral these days?
Well, I don't even know. I know what mine is, but I know that there's others out there. And I understand. Everybody's got their own, overhead and things that they have. So they have to charge more for some. But I don't have a lot of overhead, so I just I charge what I charge.
People charge more even in our industry. They'll say, "Well, what does it cost to use an agency?"
Oh, right. What services? Yeah. What are we going to do?
Exactly. It depends on what's being done.
I mean, a proper funeral home. It's so important that day. You got emotions running high.
Absolutely.
Like every day is an emotional day.
That's why pre-planning is so important. Because
it kind of takes,
yeah, you don't get that emotional aspect of it.
See, my father did that, and he was a big proponent of pre-planning. So we lost my mother 5 or 6 years ago, and everything was just. I said, "Dad, do I have a younger sister?" And I said, "Do Lenore and I have to do this, or do we have to do that?" And he said, Nope. Everything's set. And I said, "Really?" And so it was just a matter of greeting and meeting and saying hello to family, and that was it.
Right. Why does one family choose an organization? There's different groups that are in your industry. Why do people choose some over others?
Well, that's a good question. I think most people, there's many funeral homes in the area. A lot of them will stay to their local funeral home. Italians stick together. Irish stick together.
Heard that.
Yeah.
I kind of, I'm in East Syracuse, so it's a small little village.
Right.
There's 2 funeral homes. But
whereabouts are you located?
Right on Kinney Street.
Oh, yeah, I know where that is. Okay.
So, I like I said, I've been an RN or a funeral director for 40 years, but I left the business after a while after that SCI breakup of a couple funeral homes there, and went to school to be an RN. I was out of the business for almost 10 years, and when I came back, I just, started out. I bought the funeral home in East Syracuse and had to figure out how am I going to draw business to East Syracuse. It's a really small village.
Yeah.
So I started a low-cost cremation service, and kind of took off from there.
Interesting. It's I think what makes a good funeral home probably is connecting with the family, making it a very welcoming environment, as welcoming as it can be, and comforting. Would that be good? Well, what makes you different? What do you think makes it the reason why people go to you?
Well, I like to think I'm a good funeral director and a nice guy, but I think a lot of times it's price. I just think
really,
it comes down to that especially for cremation.
Right. So you end up being somewhat of a counselor in this space you're in. Is that fair?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You go a little closer to the mic there.
Okay.
There
Yeah. Absolutely. So every family is different. Every person's different. Everybody grieves differently. So I think if you, it's a time to help them through their time of loss and do whatever you can for them.
Yeah. Do you have certain denominations of religions coming to you? Like you get more Catholics or Lutherans or?
No, all different types.
All different, okay.
There's no one main group.
Right. And cremation is all the rage, isn't it?
I think it is.
My dad says that. I don't want to be cremated, but
Why is that?
I don't want to either, to be honest with you. But it's everyone's personal choice. And I just think, it's a totally different generation of people. And, the tradition is really by the wayside, I think. And I think more people are looking for cremation because of cost. And
cost, of course.
The green thing, too. Nobody wants to take up land to be buried, and so it's everything's changing.
That's not my reason, Tom.
Yeah.
Though I would take up more space than the average person, right, Tom?
Right. Yeah, yes, you would. Yeah, my father said, I'm going to be cremated. You can put me in your garden and the pumpkins will grow better. That's what he said to me. Literally. Yeah. But my dad's a jokester. So, hey, thank you so much, Kevin. It's great to meet you, man.
Yeah,
it really is. Kevin Mathewson right there, owner and licensed funeral director at Mathewson-Forani Funeral Home. And check them out at it's Mathewson-Forani.com. Yeah, Mathewson-Forani.com. And maybe you want to think about that pre-planning because that is a great gift to have.
Absolutely.
All right. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Joe Convertino Jr. He is the owner of CH Insurance, Steve, and we'll have him on the show next on the local show 570 WSYR and 106.9 FM. Stick around.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back, folks. You're on The Local Show with Tom and Steve. Steve Roberts is the owner of Zoe Advertising. I'm Tom Soccocio Jr., and I'm the creative director at Zoe Advertising and host of The Local Show. We're broadcasting from the Zoe Advertising studio, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Gettys Federal Savings and Loan. Steve is fresh off of vacation, so he's got a little bit of a head cold.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
a little stuffy. You too. We're both a little.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. No fever. None of that.
No,
none of that. So just like, remember when you used to get a cold?
Yes.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I can't remember. Where was I that I saw? I think it was something my wife showed me on Facebook because, I gave up social media long ago.
They gave up on you too.
But it was pretty funny. It was something where somebody opened up their cupboards, like a broom closet, and all the BioNTech, test kits came flowing out, and it was just one of those funny little stupid things. I'm like, give me a break.
That is perfect.
Oh man. Anyway, so we have a fun guy on the show right now.
You talking about me, Tom?
No, not you.
Okay.
But you're sitting close to him. It's Joe Convertino Jr. He's the owner of CH Insurance. You can see them online at chinsurance.cc. chinsurance.cc. How are you, my friend?
Hey, good morning. How are you guys?
We're doing good. Insurance is fun, Tom.
Yeah, well, it is.
This time of the year. Steve's got a tan better than mine, though. That means I'm in town. So.
Well, what's going on this time of year in insurance? What's different?
There's a lot. The big thing now is everybody's doing their year-end planning. Not only our clients, probably like all your businesses.
Yeah.
But it's the wonderful season of health insurance.
Oh, health. Yeah, right.
Group health insurance, benefits, open enrollment.
All that stuff.
The changes.
Good golly.
Right? That you got to educate the staff. You got to talk wellness. There's new twists out there with wellness applications.
Do you deal with that Medicare Part B or C or whatever that is? I hear
very little. Joe Corsi in our office helps it, but it helps with our clients, but it's not our main
It's
model.
not your thing. Yeah. Gotcha.
We kind of warmly refer.
Sure.
We're more in the group aspect with pretty much under 100 employees locally.
Okay.
Where we represent them and give them options. And
So what happened with the rates and deductibles and all that stuff? What has changed?
Well, the items that changed over the past 2 years, health insurance has been fairly flat because we can bring up COVID. Right?
Oh,
no one went to the doctors.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
So this year,
Except Tom.
this year the claims kind of spiked a little globally, right? And as a result, most plans went up anywhere 6 to 11%.
Goodness.
For health insurance.
Yeah.
Okay. So the big thing is, like we say to all our clients, have the right advisor helping you. Locally, everybody uses typically Excelis for the under 100 employees. When you get over 100, you have more options because you're rated based on how much claims you have, things of that nature. But community rated plans, guys, there's 30 plans that Excelis has. Right? High deductibles, low deductible, Cadillac plan, HSA, HRA. People need to be educated that there's options. Don't just settle for your 9% increase. There's ways to skin the cat. Work with your advisor or your broker to see some options.
So business owners participate in these things maybe now more than ever, though that's a platitude, Tom, because they need to keep employees. I mean, everyone's fighting for the same people. How does that affect insurance?
Well, it affects it because you have to offer these benefits. You have to offer the ancillary, the dental, the vision, the life insurance. You guys hear about Aflac, right? The duck.
Right.
Ask about it at work. So if we're not educating customers what's out there, someone else is. Okay, so you got to have a wealth of options. Still have that relationship. It's a trust factor, but there's a lot of things going on in our industry, as I told you guys a couple months ago, mergers, acquisitions, consolidations, and, banks are in our business. Locally, there was a large agency that was sold. And I saw that as being exciting for us to remain local, independent, access to the marketplace, and give people locally within Onondaga County and really central New York that passion of energy, commitment, and making sure they're taken care of, or in your case, you guys are going to say we're in your corner.
Right, that's very true. We're talking with Joe Convertino Jr. He's the owner of CH Insurance. And how long have you been in the business, Joe?
So I've been in the business 25 years. My dad's been in it 40.
Wow.
Worked on the carrier side and brought that expertise to us.
Yeah.
And, he's still doing great. I would say a young 82.
Yeah, sure.
And comes in every day. They go to Florida, but it's great to have that leadership to run ideas by him.
Sure.
And he would always say, there's nothing like youth in the business, right? I'm getting up there.
Was
now.
he looking at you?
Now, he was getting up there, but even now, John Serino,
yes,
our
very
VP
much,
of sales, his son's in the business now.
Oh, okay.
My daughter. The ideas you guys get from the youth are just great on anything from workplace to different procedures and policies, and it's made us better because we're with each other 8 hours a day. You got to have that work-life balance.
Yeah. So when a big catastrophic insurance thing happens like that, the storm, down in Florida, does that affect other insurance agents? Does it affect your stuff? Or
it'll probably affect the industry next year. And like you guys, you have friends down there and probably clients. We do too, and they're calling me and some of our agents for what would you do in this situation. We have to be knowledgeable of the industry down there, and we do have friendly advisors like us that we send business to down there. Okay. But to answer your question, you're seeing deductibles go from 2% on a hurricane to 5%.
Oh, okay.
On the building. So, you got a $500,000 home, your deductible is, whatever that number is.
Right.
Run that number, Steve.
Biggest mistake people make when they're this time of year, maybe with insurance. What's the biggest mistake people make?
Not looking at your bill. Plan for 23. right? We all do, as business owners, we're doing budgets for 23, right? On everything from car payments to where you're going on vacation, things of that nature. The business owner needs to do the same thing and plan for that. So a lot of, plan for what is changing in your business next year that you might need to talk to your agent about. Are you adding? We're having growth around here. Look, you guys know Micron's coming. It's going to add spin-offs of everything. In our world, suppliers will be busier, but in our world, can we get more personal home and autos someday as a result of Micron?
I would imagine you could.
So we need to be ready digitally. Yes. We need to be ready marketing-wise, social media.
Well, I was going to ask you about that, about the marketing. Not to put a huge plug in for Zoe, man.
I know those guys.
But my question to you was, how do you compete with some of these big agencies out there like Progressive and Liberty Mutual and Farmers? They're continuously slamming the marketing.
That's true.
Well, the good news, and you know this, but those are insurance companies.
Okay.
So we represent a Progressive.
Oh, okay.
Farmers
Gotcha.
is a direct writer. When you see a Travelers commercial, we're part of the Travelers, or Liberty Mutual of Hartford. Remember, we're a broker for all these carriers.
Gotcha.
So to keep us out there as an independent agent with all this consolidation, local, in your corner, access to relationships, hand-holding.
So they can shop you for a variety of carriers.
Correct.
Right. Many of them, right, Tom?
And people should know that. And, I think being with Zoe Advertising probably do you pretty good.
I would love it.
All right. That's Joe Convertino Jr. Thank you so much. He's in your corner. His whole team's in the corner. It's CH Insurance right there. You have a great rest of the day.
I also want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Let's have a safe, healthy holiday.
Sure.
Compared to years back, right? And COVID, I think it's going to be great to all be together, and hopefully the weather will be fine. But happy Thanksgiving to all our listeners out there.
You got it. All right, buddy. Kicking off hour number 2 of the local show, we're going to have conversations with Rob Senecal. He's the owner of Candy Cars. And then Brian Dumond stops by, president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. Dr. Richard Malera is the owner of Malera Eye Care and Eyewear. And Natasha Schmidt rounds us out. She's the co-owner of Rubberstone, New York. Stick around. Hour number 2 coming right up.
It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. This is hour number 2 of the local show. Get ready for engaging interviews with Rob Senecal. He's the owner of Candy Cars. Brian Dumond, president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. And then Dr. Richard Malera, the owner of Malera Eye Care and Eyewear. And then Natasha Schmidt rounds us out. She's the co-owner of Rubberstone, New York, right here on the local show. Stick around. We're broadcasting from the Zoe Advertising Studio, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. Saved by the bell.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Welcome to the local show, Tom.
To the local show. We're here. We're up. And, it's funny. My wife, we wake up to music. And I haven't heard like a bell like that. But remember the old days? Did you ever have a real alarm clock?
Tom?
Yes.
I still have a real alarm clock.
Do you really? With the bells?
I have one. You mean like the ding-a-ling-a-ling?
Yeah, the ding-a-ling, just we heard. Yeah.
I had a travel. There was one kicking around.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
But I used to have one of those, and but boy, it's so alarming.
Yeah,
I'd rather have music.
I had the one and still have it, but I don't use it. That I got at Service Merchandise, Tom. Everybody still has this alarm. It's like an Emerson, the same stupid clock,
right?
Because they don't die.
No, yeah,
Service
you can keep them forever. Yeah.
Service Merchandise.
Steve used to work there. Yeah, Steve used to work there.
Cicero, right where everything isn't anymore.
Right. Where the Penn Can Mall was.
Yeah. No, I get it.
All right. Well, it's our pleasure right now to talk to Rob Senecal. He's back again, so must have done something right to have him come back. He's the owner of Candy Cars, and you can see them online at candycars.com. Candycars.com. How are you, Rob?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Good. I passed by your place the other day. You got some nice vehicles
We do.
on the lot there.
Quite a few.
Yeah, over in they're off of South Bay, across from our piano and organ warehouse people.
That's right. Or
Center.
Delta Sonic.
Yeah, and Delta Sonic.
I see it at 81 coming south. I see the backside of it there.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of work down there, so
Great
it's,
visibility.
It's coming along. It's taking a few years to get it to where it's at, but
Right.
it's
Now, you just don't own candy cars. You got a couple of things going on. Give us your brief history here.
So we got Bridgeline Auto Brokers is my first store.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that for probably about 12 years.
You're not. There was a guy on the television I saw. He was running around going cheap, 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 and all
Yeah.
that. That's not you.
That's me.
That's you. Oh my goodness! Oh, I didn't know that.
I wear two hats.
No,
So yeah, we have a lot of fun. That's got a unique marketing
Yes. Yeah.
deal with it. So
Twist.
Bridgeland is the bear, and Candy Cars is the up and coming. So
Very nice.
Candy Cars was built to be a lot larger than Bridgeland, and she's getting there. So
Well, it looks very classy over there.
thank you.
Are cars, used cars, is that market still hotter than a pistol right now?
It's slowed down. So used cars, the market's correcting right now. So we're going through that. Obviously, interest rates are going up right now. So you have a little consumer confidence is kind of quelled a little bit.
Yeah.
But the market is probably adjusted somewhere in the 10 to 12% range and going up to 20. So where your interest rates are going to be coming up a little bit, let's say the interest rates are going up 2 or 3 points.
Right.
But the buys are going to be, 15 to 20 points better. So you're still in better shape. So now still going to be a good time to buy. So we're loading up right now. We're going to buy somewhere between 500 and 600 cars over the next month. And
wow.
so you'll watch Candy Cars on 81, that frontage there. You'll start to see that get filled in, and it'll be a huge inventory.
So let's imagine that someone here that would be a friend of mine, somebody I know, Tom.
Yes.
I'm asking for a friend. Had a son who was in the Air Force in Idaho. Me. He was looking for cars out there. That was an awful experience. Can you get a car here and ship it there, or is that just goofy? By the time you do it, you're paying way too much.
Yeah, you can. I'll give an example. I just bought a BMW X3 in Colorado.
Don't tell him that because he's not getting it.
BMW, yeah.
I had a BMW X3. We bought 6 of these in Colorado. They came back to me, and then I shipped it back to Arizona to my in-laws.
No
so
kidding.
if that makes any sense.
So realistically, he could get a car here. Because the dealers out near their base, to me, I felt they were predatory. I talked to one of them.
Predatory in what way?
In the way they were selling things. Absolutely. The guy was so unprofessional. And I'm like, we're not buying a car from this guy. And even with Nate, the guy was using like different ethnicities in the way he was talking.
Oh,
trying to
really?
hear my son's African American.
Oh, was it?
And he was just, and I'm like, you're such a jerk.
Yeah, right,
So someone could get a car and have it shipped somewhere. That's a reasonable thing.
All day, yeah. So as an example, I'll give an example. We're the Florida market, for example. I'd go down there to try to buy cars. It doesn't make any sense. So we're actually, right now looking at opening a store in Florida. So we're currently shopping for that. And, our game plan is really going to be the majority of the inventory in Florida we will buy here in the Northeast and ship it down there.
No kidding.
So the prices here are a lot less than they're going to be down south.
Oh, because the cars last a lot longer and they don't have the snow and the salt or
market differences.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and that's the difference you get. Just conversationally, that's the difference you're going to get with these Carvanas and these corporate companies because they have dealerships in every state. So, for example, a 2020 Silverado might do $38,000 here in New York, but it does $41,000 in the Midwest. So what they have the ability to do is take and move the inventory. They own the market really because they could buy all the Silverados here, ship them out west. Well, I don't have that luxury of having.
There's a car dealer, or there used to be, Tom, on every corner. Why? How are you different? You've grown a business, several of them, with all these other car dealers,
and you just sell used, right?
That's it, pre-owned.
So what's your niche? How do you pull that off? Because there's car dealers everywhere.
It's but Bridgeland, for example, 40% of our business is repeat and referral. We just go above and beyond with our customers, really, and we have a nice customer base. Here's the deal. It's we say this a lot of times with interviews. A lot of these dealerships just kind of run the way they run, right? They're generationally, they just kind of coast, and then you got guys like us, and we're just kind of we're I don't want to say young, but we're young minded. We're always forward thinking. I realize that it's a gift to be an independent dealership and, be doing numbers that most franchises don't do. And, I treat it as such. So I take good care of those customers and I just want to keep them there. And
used cars are certainly different than when Steve and I were young and you would get used cars. I mean, because cars are lasting a lot longer.
Sure.
So their warranties are going on a lot longer.
Yep.
Do you have a full service department as well?
Full service department. We have about 20 bays. We're going to be going up to about 25 between two dealerships, and we own the warranty company as well. So,
okay.
And I did that, because I wanted to design the warranty. I was sick of having watching customers.
Yeah.
And I've worked in franchise stores my whole life, right? And watch customers constantly upset at the service desk because this is covered or that's not covered.
Right.
You got to figure out a Rubik's cube to get some coverage.
Right.
So for me, I wanted full transparency, and I wanted to put something out there that was going to mirror a factory warranty with no small print.
So do people have to have purchased the car from you to have service done by you?
No, they can. Anybody can come in for service.
So you're a big 25 bay service center?
Yeah.
Master technicians. I got some of the best.
Are there certain
techs around.
brands you do and don't service?
We do mostly everything. If you get into some of your foreign stuff, some of your Highline foreign stuff,
Right.
meaning some of your Audis, things like that, if it gets really intricate, then obviously we'll go outside and get to somebody that specializes a little bit more in that.
Yeah.
Yep.
What are the most popular cars and SUVs that are moving at this time?
Right now, it's under $20,000. So, right now the market is slowed down. So what we do is we kind of pivoted. So my typical vehicle would be in the 30s, mid 30s price tag. And right now I'm flushing those, and I am kind of changing the strategy. So over the next few months, the majority of what I have will probably be under 25 grand. And
Gotcha.
that pool of buyers really don't flow with the world so much, and they gotta it's more necessity for them,
right,
rather than a luxury. The people that are looking for the luxuries right now are kind of sitting on their hands waiting for things to do whatever they're
cool
going to do.
off or something. Yeah,
Right.
People that need them from necessity, they got to do it.
And leasing's no bargain anymore, I hear.
You know what? I don't.
I heard that because of the value of the cars and that the leasing, the national manufacturers aren't putting incentives there. So people that are going to lease are some of them going to buy cars because the leases aren't the deals they used to be.
Yeah. Yep.
Are you finding it easy to finance people still, or is that cool?
Yeah, I mean, they got a little tight last month. Banks have started to kind of prepare for a recession, so they increased the interest rates a little prematurely. They were kind of just acting as if. So, they got a little bit tight, but right now this month's on fire. So they're really kind of loosening up. And
well, then let's get people out to see you.
That's it.
All right. Thank you so much. Rob Senecal right there. You can see he's a real human being. He's not, slick or trying to sell you something all the time. He'll come out and give you the real deal. Owner of Candy Cars right there on South Bay Road. CandyCars.com. CandyCars.com. Thank you so much.
You got it. You can go to SyracuseCars.com. We'll have both websites there.
Oh,
show you
great.
all the inventory in one site.
There you go.
Excellent. That's perfect. All right. Brian Dumon's coming up next. He's the president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. Stick around for that right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back at it again. You've got The Local Show. Thank you, folks, for carving out that
Tom,
special.
just try that again.
Carving out. Speaking of carving,
Yes.
can you believe that Thanksgiving is here?
I know.
Good golly. We have the house completely decorated. My 24-year-old, who's, like I say, she's working on her master's, and she's student teaching and everything. So I know she'll be out of the house sooner or later, and she'll get a good job. But, now that she's home, she loves to spend our money. So I get nervous every time she says, "Can I have the card? Mom said it's okay."
Oh, it's going to make a mark.
And she pretends like she's going grocery shopping.
Right.
Well, she came back with all these Christmas decorations.
Did she tell you how much money she saved?
No, she didn't.
Doesn't give you that line. Look at all the money I saved.
And she decorated the whole house. It looks like a Hallmark movie. And we're all Christmased out and ready for Thanksgiving and everything. And it's like, it went from like 0 to 100. It was like I came up from the basement and I was all of a sudden in Christmas land. So.
Yeah, there's that to it. And then there's the other side. For us, there's been a lot of loss. Thanksgiving is not what it was.
No, yeah. We're
15
very
years
thin.
ago.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
I might almost have to start getting together with you.
There we go.
It's desperate.
But, my
Wouldn't have to worry about the turkey.
Yeah, there you go.
But my sister's family, they've moved away, and the kids. We've got one son here, the other one's out in Idaho.
Yeah,
Dad's gone.
Right.
Where we had to add tables, and there was a kids table pretty much this year because my sister's going south with her. We could probably sit at the kids table.
Well, at least
so
you got your mom.
It goes from 15 to 5. It's different, and we do, and it's we're blessed, and it's just different times and seasons, and it's just different.
It really is. Maybe we should start getting together.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, have them come over and everything. Just the pressure, then you have to make sure you get cook. Anyway, so we'll leave that alone.
We'll meet at a restaurant, Tom. There'll be no pressure will all be on them.
That would be, that's what my dad used to do.
Smart man.
Yeah, let's go out and just go to a restaurant. All right, we're going to talk with Brian Dumond right now. He's the president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. How are you, Brian?
I'm well. How are you guys today?
Hanging right in there, buddy. Hanging in there. GeddesFederal.com. GeddesFederal.com. Lots going on in banking world. First, you are the president, and you still make time to come here, which speaks volumes to what Geddes is all about. People can walk in and talk to local people. They might see their friends, their neighbors, and everything that have been working there for a long time. And you can ask questions that are relevant to the area that we live in, and then you make time yourself to be seen and heard and all that, and that's wonderful as a president of a bank.
Well, I think it's important, especially if you're going to be a local bank, to have that presence. I mean, if I see people are waiting, because from time to time we get busy, I'll offer to get them coffee. I mean,
That's right.
because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
People are coming into our financial institution, and we should be gracious hosts as well as take care of them.
Sure. That makes sense.
You know how to make coffee, Brian?
I know how to put the K cup in the right slot, so I'm good at that.
I've been on a few Zoom calls with Brian. He needs technical support, Tom, most of the time.
Well, that's different than a coffee
I'm sorry.
maker.
No, the craziest thing about that, Steve's right. I do need technical support, but what he doesn't know is I have a minor in computer science.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
I do, and so the thing is I can program in COBOL,
yeah,
and I can program in Fortran and Pascal.
I remember those languages.
And all those, but ask me to hook up a Zoom call, and I struggle.
Ryan, I have help too. So I have people. I yell. I go, Sonia or Lori or somebody.
Yeah, Steve is definitely not. That's not his area. Yeah. But I know something that could be Brian's area. Somebody had asked me the other day what an arm is, and of course I held up my.
You can't help yourself.
My arm, just because I'm that kind of guy. But what is an arm in terms of banking?
Well, an arm is an adjustable rate mortgage, and at times of rising rates like we're in now, that sounds about the most scary thing.
Well, look, the rates go up when you pay more. I wouldn't want to do that.
But for some people, it's the best deal out there. Let me tell you why.
Yes.
There's different products. We offer a 10-1 arm, a 7-1 arm, and a 5-1 arm. Okay. And in the products that we're offering them, the 10-1 isn't, the rate stays the same for 10 years. After that 10 years, then the rate will adjust every year. But here's the better part of it. It amortizes like a 30-year loan. So you get a low payment, and that interest rate is fixed for 10 years. So let's say I'm a new family, and I know that we're going to be having 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 kids, and we're going to need another house down the road.
Yeah.
If you're looking ahead and saying, in 10 years, we're going to be in another home, this might be the opportunity for you to get the house you want at a lower interest rate, because ARMs are less of an interest rate than the regular fixed rate loans. So if you were to get a 30-year loan or a 20-year fixed rate loan, chances are that's significantly higher. I mean, to the extent of a half, 3/4, or 1% higher than a 10-1 arm.
Yeah.
And a 5-1 arm would be less, and a 7-1 arm, et cetera.
Sure. So it sounds, it actually sounds like a good deal when you say it that way. What's a balloon? I've heard people say, I got a balloon mortgage. What is that? This is not a balloon.
This is not a balloon at all, because a balloon would be something to the effect that you pay a short term for a short amount for a while, and then all of a sudden you have this humongous payment you have to make at the end.
Wow.
Okay. A 10-1 ARM is going to be, it goes 10 years fixed. Then after in the 11th year, it'll adjust with one of the treasuries and plus some other factors. And then the next year it'll adjust, and the next year it'll adjust. It can work in your favor where it could go down or it could go up. But for that 10-year period,
at least you're locked in.
You're locked in. And it's at a lower rate than you can get a normal fixed.
And how
loan.
long do people typically keep their homes? I know it's all over the place, but there's some averages and things, right?
Right. So in a nutshell, they probably between 7 to 10 years is, right now would be closer to the 10-year time frame, just because rates are going up. So people are doing a lot more home equities and that kind of thing to stay in the house they're in. But when all is said and done, if you think about it, I mean, how many houses do people have in their lifetimes? I mean, usually it's 3 or 4.
Right.
And so that average is every 7 to 10 years of making a change.
Yeah, that makes sense. We're talking with Brian Dumond. He's the president of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan. Brian, there's a lot of talk about... I lost my place.
Tom, you know what I've been hearing?
No, what?
That people are nervous of the stock market.
Well, yeah,
and they're all uptight with that, and people are putting some of their money into maybe CDs or something like that, Brian?
Well, it's funny because I was talking about rates going up on the mortgage side, but rates are going up on the savings side too, which is
a good thing.
Which people have been waiting and waiting and waiting for. And there are deals to be had with certificates of deposit. And so really focusing in on what is out there, what are the specials. Asking about the specials is the way to go, because really there are some really good specials out there.
Yeah.
And then there's some unique products out there that you might want to ask about. And you look for, we call them one-time bump features, but you get a CD, and let's say it's a particular term, but any time during that term, if the rate goes up on that CD, you can adjust your CD rate once.
Oh, okay.
So that's built in to allow for inflation, okay?
Yeah.
Now, you have to be the one that calls up Gettys Federal and says, hey, I've got this, let's say, 30-month CD with a one-time bump. I took it out, and it was in the 3% range. Now it's in the 4.5% range. I want to adjust my rate.
Nice.
But to have the ability to do that.
Yeah, and somebody answer the phone. And, people you can talk with.
That's right.
Great.
Absolutely right.
All right. Well, I found what my question is, but now I can't ask it because we're out of time. I'm sorry. That's okay. I'll ask him off the air. All right, Brian. Thank you so much. Brian Dumond right there, president of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan, and it's always a pleasure. You have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving. Coming up, we're going to talk with Dr. Richard Malera. He's the owner of Malera Eye Care and Eyewear, right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
Get it, Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Gettys Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back at it and back into it again. You're on the Local Show, and that means, well, Steve, we're here too.
We're still here.
Yes, we are. Just weeks or a week or days away from Thanksgiving.
Yes. Now, do you like not eat the day before because you're gonna eat too much? You do one of those?
Well,
things?
it's since I've been really watching what I eat. I try
it go
not
in your
to.
Mouth?
Yes, that's it. I try to not overeat, period, but I'll probably, go really light, the day before and all that. But like you said, things have changed. There's kind of an ebb and a flow, and, we don't get that many guests, and, so it's not.
Different. More leftovers, maybe?
Yeah.
What's your favorite leftover?
I don't know. Ham. I guess my father-in-law, I forget about that. My father-in-law buys a honey baked ham every year and brings it up, and that's the best spiral cut.
Yeah. Woo! And then you get those doughy rolls, what do they call them? Pineapple rolls? Or what are those little small rolls?
Hawaiian rolls?
Hawaiian rolls. That's the pineapple I was talking about. I know.
Well, there's pineapple
the Indonesian
in it
rolls.
Yes.
Yeah. And you put a little ham on there.
Yeah, that's nice too.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love it. So that would probably be my best. And I love pies. I love a pumpkin pie. I'm a, any kind of pie. Who am I kidding? That's funny. All right, let's talk to Dr. Richard Malera right now. He's the owner of Malera Eye Care and Eyewear over there in Liverpool and Fayetteville. And you can see them online at DRMALARA. That's drmalera.com, drmalera.com. How are you, Doc?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good, my friend. So you've got a lot going on. Let's give people the 30-second history of how you got into this business and where your practices are.
I'd love to. So absolutely thrilled to be back in the Syracuse community. Grew up here, born and raised here, and had the opportunity to go away for my graduate education and come back and have been serving in this community for almost 33 years now.
Wow, that's a lot.
So yeah, I got into eye care from my wonderful brother, who's a little older than me, who is our licensed optician, one of our 4 licensed opticians in the practice. And so he's been instrumental in inspiring me and got me back here. And then I got him with me, and now we work together, and it's been great.
That's wonderful. Is one place bigger than the other? Like, is Fayetteville bigger than Liverpool? Liverpool bigger than Fayetteville?
Liverpool is bigger office of the two. We have a lot more real estate there, and it's a little different feel, but very modern, very contemporary, and enough space to feel comfortable and spread out.
Gotcha.
So the other office is a little more boutique-y, more kind of.
And that's in Fayetteville.
That's in Fayetteville.
Of course, because it's Fayetteville. Yes, Fayetteville Manly is a little more boutique-y. Yes. So, what's the difference between an ophthalmologist, and an optometrist?
Ophthalmologists are geared towards surgery, so their primary specialty is their MDs first. So they go through all their MD trainings, and then surgically specify in the eye, and they can even further specify in a part of the eye.
Wow.
So it can be anywhere from 10 to 12 years of training, but specifically in a surgical specialty.
Right. Do you see a lot of detached retinas in your business, or?
We do find a lot of detached retinas, unfortunately. So
why does that happen?
It can happen for a lot of reasons, but it can happen spontaneously because the retina is weakened. Sometimes from people that are more highly nearsighted, their eyes are a little more stretched because their eyes are a little bit longer. So physically, that can cause things like that to happen. Mm-hmm. Trauma, obviously. So someone takes a fall, knocks their head. It does cause that jelly in the eye, the vitreous, to tug at the retina a little bit, and can cause that to pull enough that it causes a detachment of the retina.
So why does someone always at the eye exam want to blow air into my eyeball? Explain this to me.
Well, we never blow air into your
Remember that? The old, hang on, what was that? Remember that time?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, we've never used that technology just because it's first of all, you need 3 measurements per eye in order to get an average, because the eye has a pulse, and so in order to measure the eye pressure properly, you have to do more than one measurement. So we use a different device that doesn't require any kind of anesthetic, called an eye care tonometer, and it takes I think 12 readings in less than tenth of a second.
Oh, wow.
And what is that testing for?
Testing for glaucoma, or increased eye pressure, which can cause damage to the optic nerve and eventually rob you over time of your vision.
Mm. Okay. Should you ever drive after getting your eyes dilated?
Well, we do offer, as long as you have correction, your vision will be fine. It's just the intensity of the light will be greater. So there are some what we call mydriatic sunglasses that we can put in behind your glasses or under or over your glasses that help to cut down the light. I mean, it's not, if there's other things happening not safely, then, we always recommend someone have someone to drive them if they don't feel comfortable.
Gotcha. Okay, so I shouldn't be afraid of that, though. I haven't had my eyes dilated.
You're afraid of everything.
Well, that's true.
Okay.
Dilation is nothing to be afraid of, no.
Oh, okay.
And we do have an instrument that, for those individuals who choose not to be dilated, takes a wide field image. It's called an Optomap, Optos type imaging. It's called retinal wide field imaging. So it's a 200-degree image. So it covers most of the retina. So if there's something outside of that we don't see, it's still good to have the eyes dilated, and yet it still gives us more information than if you don't have your eyes dilated.
Tom, we have a very famous person in front of us.
Yeah, so why is it?
Because
he
won a big shot award for New York State. Tell me about what you went and did. What did you do?
Well, I had the honor of being awarded the New York State Optometric Society or Optometric Association Optometrist of the Year for New York State. I was awarded in April of 2022, so a few months back. But
that's pretty big.
It was quite an honor, and very, very much so.
What did they base that on?
It is based on commitment to community service, commitment to the profession, and I don't know if it really matters
Good
much
looks.
more than that.
Was it
Haircut? What was that?
Anything. Did you make his big speech and throw in some political things? And
No.
Come on, Tom.
No, I just happened to, as a group, we got together. We get together at this conference that we have every year that invites all of the optometrists in New York State to attend. And that meeting was just a chance to thank everybody for recognizing me, and had a lot of our local folks there.
Now you started the program downtown. Explain that in case someone didn't hear it before.
So yes, so during COVID, we decided, along with some other key people, to come together and offer free eye care and eyewear to the community who people who don't have the ability to pay or don't have the ability to be have their eyes checked. They have no insurance or not enough insurance to cover their care or their ability to pay for a pair of glasses. And so Emmaus Vision Services was born out of that in association with the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception downtown, right there in Columbus Circle.
Very nice. And you do a lot of innovative things. Like somebody told me something about an eye spa. What's that all about?
Correct. We're venturing into aesthetics, specifically tied to the eye. I think most people would agree that it's fun to not only have good vision, but also to look good. And a lot of people like to
that ship has sailed for Steve, by the way. But yeah, some people,
and
yes.
your point is...
So we've been looking at ways to, through the years, we get into funky glasses and cool glasses. And so that's one way to dress it up. For people that don't want to wear glasses, then we can offer them contact lenses that, again, are really cosmetic in nature because they don't want to be in glasses. But also now we're venturing into the skin line of trying to make sure that people's eyes and eye areas are...
So briefly, is it like Botox? Is it like Botox?
No Botox, nope.
He wouldn't do that stuff.
So
no injections. This is strictly something that just heats up the collagen in the skin, helps it to tighten and firm. So over a series of usually around 3 treatments, different areas of the face can be treated and allowed to help tighten things up a little better to make you look a little better.
Well, I donate Tom for experimental tries. No, it's not experimental. This is proven.
Sure.
Yes, I use my cucumbers at home and tea bags, but I'll try some other things. Thank you so much. You're a wonderful person, and what a great practice. Glad to have you in our community as a local business person and a doctor. Dr. Richard Malera right there, owner of Malera Eye Care and Eyewear. Thank you, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Coming up next, we'll talk with Natasha Schmidt. She's the co-owner of Rubberstone, New York, and she'll be on the local show on 570 WSYR and 106.9 FM.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back, folks. Thank you for joining us on this weekend. Weekend before a holiday, so that was... When is Black Friday? Because every Friday seems to be Black Friday nowadays.
Yeah, well...
and Cyber Mondays.
Well, I did hear, the day after Thanksgiving, I did hear a lot of the stores weren't going to open on Thanksgiving. Remember the big chase and the race? And the poor people that work there, that's just not fair.
Right, to force them.
They feel like they have to work because it's their job. So a lot of the stores aren't doing that to their credit. Mm-hmm. Now, let's be honest. They're doing it because people will quit.
Right.
And it's hard to get employees. That's the real reason, let's be honest. But no, they're doing their thing. It's coming up. Tom, you're going to buy a 700-inch large screen TV?
Well, being in marketing kind of ruins it for me. And for people, let me just tell you this. the joke is among marketing people that you jack up the price 500 times over, and then you take a little off, and then you say, "Hey, you got a discount."
Yeah, it's nuts. No, I'm good.
There's no real deals.
Nope. I don't think so. Yeah, there. I mean, it's like some people win the lottery too.
Yeah, right. Sure.
Right? But it's awful.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like the hustle and bustle, but I don't know.
I don't like either of those two things.
I know you don't.
Hustle or bustle.
So Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts, a lot of people are getting together with family. They might start to notice that, hey, maybe grandma, grandpa, or ourselves, are not in great shape, and we got to start planning for the future.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And even if they're not, make a plan.
Right. We'll do it when you're healthy.
Yeah, do it when you're healthy.
Right along. Yeah.
And when it comes to protecting against nursing home costs, which are $15,000 a month, you got to do that ahead of time to protect it all.
Yes.
If someone's already in a nursing home, Safe Harbor, they can certainly help. Mm-hmm. But it's always best to do it ahead of time.
Yeah, not have
make
it go
the plan. People say, "Well, those are expensive." Oh my gosh, how much is $15,000 in a nursing home?
Sure,
so it's not expensive compared. So, but they're taking calls and helping people every day. So if you haven't done that, give them a shout. SafeHarborWillsandTrust.com, 370-9977. 370-9977. SafeHarborWillsandTrust.com, Tom.
Natasha Schmidt is the co-owner of Rubberstone, New York, with her husband, John, and they've been in business for quite a while, and she's here with us now. How are you?
I'm well. Glad to be here. How are you?
Very good. I haven't spoken to you. Steve and I haven't had a talk with you since you've gone to Florida and had a little family vacation, and it was the first time that you went to Florida and the first time to Disney World.
Yeah. Yep.
How was it?
Yeah, it was Disney.
It was.
So they got every dollar they could out of it.
Yeah. Disney could use some rubber, is what I would say. There was so many steps on so much concrete.
Oh, I know.
It was very exhausting. I'm glad I brought 2 pairs of shoes and 20 pairs of socks. And moleskin and Band-Aids because it was all necessary. But no, it was magical. It was great.
Did the kids' eyes just go,
wow? Oh, man. Crash is 8 now, but is still deep in the magic of Disney. So every single moment of every day was just a magic endeavor for him. And it was like his first big time roller coasters, to be there at Halloween time was super magical. There was definitely, the magic is still alive. I don't care what people are trying to tell you on the internet.
But bottom line, they need Rubberstone.
Bottom line is they could use some rubber in the
That's what I heard. I don't know.
When we were there in March, I said the same thing. Isn't that something? We were walking, I said, boy, this could be all Rubberstone right here.
Well, the State Fair was smart enough to do it.
I know. Come on, Disney.
Yeah, get on it, man.
Get on it.
They waste more money than anything else.
Right.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you had fun and all that. And then didn't you take another vacation right after that? You had to go somewhere?
Yeah, that was a birthday surprise. So John and I's birthdays are the first week of November. So
gotcha.
We tried to do something just together. But yes, we went to Massachusetts and we jumped in the cold water.
You did?
Birthdays.
For what?
For what? He said.
It was cold.
Did you jump off a tall bridge?
No, just straight off the sand. Straight off the sand.
And was it just for it was cold?
Because they could.
Because we could. Yeah.
Neat. Okay.
It's probably down to 70, below 70 at this point in the year, isn't it? The water temperature?
Oh, yeah. I think the first day was 52, and the second one, it was just above 40.
It's like the Arctic plunge.
Yeah, it was lovely, though.
So, Natasha, you and John own Rubberstone. We know that, but tell the listeners a little bit about what it is and give us the 30-second elevator speech on Rubberstone.
Sure. So, for over 10 years now, no, I shouldn't say over, close to 10 years. We're pushing 10 years now. We've been covering, ugly surfaces, concrete, asphalt, wood, paving stones, with a decorative, durable, long-lasting, flexible solution that's made to last in salt and snow and UV exposure. And no damage to the concrete or no damage to the surrounding areas. Easy installs, easily maintained.
Have you ever said that before?
Yeah, I feel like it's been a while. I stumbled a little.
Because it's if you tell someone, it tastes like chicken, people go, it tastes like chicken, but it's so unique. Mm-hmm. And it does so many of those things. Sometimes people are like, what is it? Mm-hmm. I always say it's like the playground stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's what most people, I think, are going to assimilate in their head with it. It's the same ball field, but probably a little bit of a different game. When we're talking about driving on it, using it for those type of surfaces, or even putting it interior, it's still a little bit different.
So not only is it a rubber substance, but then you have like a rock and rubber type thing that I have on my front stoop, and which looks really classy, because it kind of sparkles too. And all that.
Yeah, we have a few different overlay systems. Everything, has its own context of where we can put it. But like that, or even our 100% natural stone is still gorgeous. We've done more basements this year than we've ever done with our Sierra stone.
Really?
Yeah, it's so pretty. And to get a 20-year warranty on a floor that can survive a sump pump failure or, pipe bursting is, worth the money.
So it can make a Christmas gift. So maybe couples didn't know, what do you want to do? What if we put a floor in the basement? Because then you can do anything in it, right?
Yeah.
So how long, if you have stuff in the basement, maybe use it to hang out in. Yeah. How long do you have to take all that stuff out to put the stuff in, to put the stuff back in and out again? Is it quite a process?
Weeks and weeks?
No, it's definitely, it's not really a process, and it's most certainly not weeks and weeks. We can, less than 2,000 square feet we can install in one day, as long as you can move all your stuff.
Well, that's a huge base. Okay, that's every basement.
And then you stay off of it for 24 hours. After 24 hours, you can walk on it. You can move in light items. It would be 72 hours for something like a couch, an entertainment stand, or a pool table.
Right.
But the nice thing about it, because it is poured in place resinous flooring, we can do half and then return in 72 hours and do the other half. So a lot of people don't have the capabilities to clear out their entire basement areas.
Yeah,
so
you can just go from side to side.
Exactly. Yeah. We can just pick a natural termination point with the homeowner. We'll do half and then come back.
I was thinking that. I was actually thinking, can you do part of it? Because it seems like you wouldn't be willing to do that, but you can.
We can, yeah.
And when you say it's all stone, we should let people know too that you have like a surface thing on it that makes it non-slip, right?
For the stone?
Yeah, for the stone. Yeah, it's kind of
So for the stone, the Sierra stone, the rock and rubber, and the rubber stone are all textured, so they have some traction to them, yes.
Right, yeah. Well,
so if they wanted to find out how much it is, what the options are, 463-5916, 463-5916, or rubberstoneny.com. And they can find out whatever they want to do.
Yeah, call, text, or email, whatever works for you.
Doing it right through the winter, right?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely get in touch with you now to get on the docket for the spring.
For the outdoor stuff.
Yep.
For the outdoor stuff.
Basement you could do in the winter.
Yeah, basements you can do now. I gotcha. All right. Well, thank you so much, Natasha. You have a great rest of the day, okay?
Thanks. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you. All right, Steve. That's going to wrap things up for today. You ready to go ice fishing? No, not quite yet. No. All right. Well, God, on behalf of the local show and Tom and Steve, God bless you and your families. Get some physical activity today and every day. Eat well and stay focused on healthy living. The local show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1. Then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Get together with a friend and listen, because it's more fun that way. Get down to business. Keep doing business locally and tell your friends about the local show. The local show is heard right here on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM, and it streams everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.